Hi guys, we are about to start reading chapter 4 in the book Stink, The Incredible Shrinking Kid. And I just wanted to see if you remembered what happened in chapter 3 so that we can move on into chapter 4. So do you remember the kind of class pet that Stink brought home and what happened to it? Right. It's a newt. And while he was taking care of it, it shed its skin. And remember, he was writing in his diary about all the different things that were happening. Okay, so now we're going to read chapter 4 called Stinkerbell, Shrinkerbell. P.U. What's that smell? Judy held her nose. What smell? That dead skunk smell. That 100-year-old dirty sock smell. That 300-year-old rotten egg smell. Judy walked around Stink's room, sniffing here, sniffing there. It gets super stinky as soon as you get close to Newton. Newton, cried Stink. He sprang up from the floor where he'd been drawing comics. Newton was in his hidey hole. Maybe it's the chopped up dead worms in there and the dried up crickets that... Why isn't he eating? Grody, grody, gross. There's greeny slime everywhere, Judy said, and brown stuff floating in the water. Stink, you have to clean it every day. Newts can die if their water gets too dirty. Since when are you the newt genius? Since I read it in Newt's Week magazine. You have to dump out the yucky water and wash the rocks and clean off all the slime and stuff. That's a lot of homework, Stink said. Come on, Stinkerbell, I'll help. We'll be the slime busters. Slime busters? Double cool, said Stink. But you can't call me Stinkerbell. If you say so, Stinkerbell. Let's take it down to the big sink. Stink carried the critter keeper down to the kitchen, but he couldn't reach the sink. Here, let me, said Judy. She took the critter keeper from Stink and set it on the counter. Stink stood on the kitchen chair. First we have to get Newton out of his... so we can clean his house. Stink, hold this jar. Let's put Newton in here. Okay, said Stink, holding a tiny net. Judy reached in to scoop out Newton with her hand. The net, cried Stink. Mrs. D says use the net for scooping him out. Hold on, wait, I almost have him. Ha ha, said Judy. Gotcha, you little newt brain. He's not a newt brain, said Stink, and you're scaring him. He sure is slippery, said Judy. You should call him Squirmy. Just then, Squirmy squirmed right out of Judy's hand, slipped into the sink, and went sloop right down the drain. Do you see a challenge coming up anywhere? Newton, cried Stink. You lost him, he yelled at Judy. Don't worry, Stink, said Judy. He's probably just swimming around down there under the sink. Judy peered down the drain. Is he there? Asked Stink. Do you see him? I can't see, said Judy. It's dark. I need a flashlight or something. No, wait, let me turn the light on. Judy flicked the switch over the sink. Grrr! A loud, grinding up sound made them both jump back. Stop, yelled Stink. Judy turned off the switch. Oops, wrong switch. Do you guys know what that switch is? It's called the garbage disposal, and it kind of grinds up all the garbage that goes down the sink. You killed Newton, cried Stink. The state amphibian of New Hampshire, my class pet, my homework. Stink ran to his room. He threw himself face down on the bed. Newton was gone. Gone. Goner. Gonest. All that was left of Stink's class pet was his not boring newt skin. Stink gave the newt skin a place of honor on his desk, right next to his gold Sacagawea dollar, his state quarters, and his French cootie catcher. The newt skin just sat there, lonely, empty, dead. Deader than a doorknob. Stink decided to do his homework. Homework always made him feel better. Stink drew a still life of the newt skin for art class, and he read a poem called Who Has Seen the Wind? He wrote one called Who Has Seen the Newt? And he used all his homework phrases in sentences. Taking care of a newt is easier said than done. I hope Newton does not get cold feet out on the river. If your class pet goes down the drain, go back to the drawing board. Judy came up to his room. I'm sorry, Stink, she said. I'm super duper sorry. But I bet Newton slipped right down the pipes and on down to the river before I even flipped the switch. Stink put the pencil down. You think? Newton is having the time of his life. Think of it like Stuart Little. He's probably sailing down the river right now on a raft, having a big, fat newt adventure. But what am I going to tell Mrs. Dempster in my class? They'll understand. It's all part of the life cycle, Stink. The garbage disposal is not part of the life cycle, said Stink. Stink finished his homework. He wrote the last entry in his journal. Sunday, 5:21. Newton goes down the drain. Well, this is definitely a challenge for our main character. All right, let's take a look at our graphic novel page. The Adventures of Stink, Newt Boy Meets Jaws Monster. After a long day of saving the world, Newt Boy naps on a slimy rock. Sloop! Ah! Newt Boy slips into the steely mouth of Jaws Monster. Got you, you little newt brain. Newt Boy finds some spaghetti in the disposal and makes a clever escape. Drat. Alright guys, that's the end of chapter 4.